Hi there, welcome back to Camera Than Coffee, where I talk about cameras that deserve our love. And today I'm doing a head-to-head specs comparison of the most awaited Canon EOS R3 and the camera for the pros Sony A1. And it will be very kind if you support me by subscribing if you love this video. So the new R3 was released last week, around 8 months after the release of Sony A1, and there is a difference of $500 in both the cameras. Also, the new EOS R3 is scheduled to be available from November this year. Cool. Let's start with sensor and processor. Both the cameras house full-frame back-illuminated stacked CMOS sensor, which delivers faster readout speed and less rolling shutter distortion in fast-moving images. But the one on R3 decided to settle at 24 megapixel. And while R3 has the support of Digic X processor, the Sony A1 is powered by a Bionz XR image processor. And thanks to these great sensors and processors on both the cameras, they allow blackout-free shooting at an ultra-fast speed of 30 fps with full AF and AE tracking. And as expected, Canon R3 has a wider ISO and expandable range. And the only difference you will notice in shutter speed is when you will use electronic shutter. And finally, both the cameras can deliver images in JPEG, RAW and HEIF format. Next up is autofocus. While R3 features the upgraded dual-pixel CMOS autofocus, the A1 has the Sony's promising fast hybrid autofocus with face reduction and contrast reduction mechanism. And both the AFs are quick and accurate, delivering good AF performance. And the credit for good autofocus performance also goes to the incredible AF points present in the respective cameras. But when conditions get tough, the Canon R3 claims to focus down to extreme light level of -7.5 eV. Moving on, eye, face and head detection is present in both the cameras, which ensure that the shots are sharp and in focus. But who knew that along with human, animal and bird, the R3 will also recognize motorsport, including bikes and cars. And not just that, the one thing that really steps up R3 is the new AI feature that will make R3 swiftly lock the AF point to where you are looking at by detecting the movement of your pupil. However, sadly the feature may not be available when wearing contact lenses, glasses or other eyewear. Speaking of camera bodies, both the cameras have a magnesium alloy body, but R3 is slightly bigger and heavier than the A1. When it comes to display, the Canon R3 leads the game with a 3.2-inch fully articulated touchscreen with 4.15 million dots, whereas the A1 has a tilting touchscreen with 1.44 million dots. But when it comes to electronic viewfinder, the A1 has a better one with 9.44 million dots. And sadly, both the cameras don't have inbuilt flash. Which brings me to talk about the new multifunction shoe at the top of R3 that provides data communication and power for its new accessories when attached to the camera, and is compatible with one of the best accessories out there. Next thing on the body of R3 is the smart controller, which is one of its best selling points. Talking about memory, both the cameras have dual card slots, and both the slots on A1 welcome CF Express cards. Next up is the battery life, and as expected, Canon R3 gives you more shots. In addition to that, R3 has an integrated vertical grip for easy and comfortable handling. But Sony A1 is not behind. It is compatible with VGC for EM grip that houses 2 battery slots. Also, we can see a difference in the lens mount on both the cameras, and good news, both the cameras are dust and water resistant. And now the video specs, where lies the biggest differences. Starting with 8K, which is only there on Sony A1, and in contrast we have 6K RAW up to 60 fps on Canon R3, which is obviously due to the 24 megapixel sensor that it uses. And when it comes to 4K recording, both the cameras can record up to 120 fps, but you also get a wider version of 4K on the new R3. But when it comes to Full HD recording, the A1 gives you more frames. The A1 also wins when it comes to external recording, as you can record up to 16-bit 4.3K RAW. And not to forget, while you can record in log 3 in Canon R3, the Sony A1 offers S-Cineton and S-Log profiles. And thankfully both the cameras have 5 axis in-body image stabilization. And last but not the least, the ports. Some are same, some are different, but I must point out that the dual-driven shutter system on Sony A1 allows faster flash sync. That's it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if the video was helpful, do support me by subscribing. See you then.